ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि
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 बोल।
बोल।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All
हरे हरि
glories to
बोल।
Srila Prabhupada.
हरे हरि
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। श्रीमद्भागवतम Canto 3, Chapter 19, The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha, Text 38. Text 38. एतन्महापुण्यमलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि सौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणोऽन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्। एतन्महापुण्यमलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणोऽन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्। एतन्महापुण्यमलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणोऽन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्। Please chant.
एतन्महापुण्यम् अलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्यवर्धनं नारायणन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्।
हरे कृष्ण। एतान्महापुण्यम् अलं प्रवृत्तं धन्नं यशस्यं परम् आयुराशिषं प्राणेन्द्रियान्तं युधि शौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणवन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्। हरे कृष्ण।
एतन्महापुण्यमलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि सूर्यवर्धनम् नारायणोऽन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। एतन्महापुण्यं फलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यां परमायुराशिषां प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युक्तिशौर्यवर्धनं नारायणो अन्ते गतिरङ्गशृण्वताम्।
Okay, word to word translation. Etat, this narrative, Mahapunyam, conferring great merit. Alam, very. Pavitram, sacred. Dhanyam, conferring wealth. Yashasyam, bearing fame. Padam, the receptacle. Ayuhu, of longevity. Ashisham, of the objects of one's desire. Prana, of the vital organs. Indriyanam, of the organs of action. Yudhi, on the field of battle. Shaurya, the strength. Vardhanam, increasing. Narayanaha, Lord Narayan. Ante, at the end of life. Gatihi, shelter. Anga, oh dear Shaunaka. Shinvatam, of those who listen. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Those, one second. Those most sacred, this most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. I'll read that again. This most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Shaunaka. Purport. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord. And even though they do not prosecute Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord. And even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. I want to read it again. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Okay? If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. So ultimately, they go back to the transcendental abode. But for as long as they are in the material world, they are benedicted here also. That is the supreme sublime result of engaging in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Please pay attention to this line. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. This is the beginning. Sparing some time, listening to Bhagavatam class every day, reading every day, sparing some time to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source is the beginning of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended 5 items of devotional service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just to perform these 5 activities, just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable condition of material life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for joining in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class at ISKCON Philadelphia. So this chapter, entitled The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha, actually the discussion was about creation. And so while talking about creation, at the beginning of creation, how Swayambhuva Manu was asked to produce progeny. Human Manu means he's the father of Manushya, human beings. So Manu, along with his wife Shatarupa, were asked to procreate. But Manu saw earth is not there. So then that's how we heard about Varahadev's appearance. Brahmaji meditated on the Supreme Lord. He started contemplating about the problem, and by meditating on the Supreme Lord, while he was meditating, the Lord appeared from his nostril, Varahadev. and then he became gigantic. And then he went into the Garbhodaka ocean and lifted the earth. But then we talked about how he fought with Hiranyaksha and killed him. So Vidura asked a question about who is this Hiranyaksha and why did they have a fight and why the Lord killed Hiranyaksha. So then we heard about the history of Hiranyaksha. So all this started way back in the 13th chapter. Now we are in the 19th chapter. So then about the history, we saw about Diti, how she became pregnant in the evening. And as a result of that, she was to give birth to two demons. Then what is the history of these two demons? So this we saw in the 14th chapter about Diti conceiving. Then in the 15th and 16th chapters, 15th chapter, we saw the history of these two demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who were actually the associates of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya. How they got cursed by the Kumaras, that we saw in the 15th chapter. Then in the 16th chapter, we saw the Lord's appearance on the scene and how the Kumaras, they got darshan of the Lord and how it was actually the Lord's plan for Jai Vijay to come down as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So then in the 17th chapter, and again in 18th chapter, we saw how, Hiranyaksha appeared, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu appeared, and about how they were, especially about Hiranyaksha, we were reading, he went, because their bodies were so powerful, nobody could defeat them. And Hiranyaksha went looking for some competition to fight with. But when he would go to the heavenly planets, even before he reached there, his enemy would run away. They would just hide here and there. So he didn't have an opponent to fight with. Then he went into the ocean and then he met Varun Dev. And Lord Varuna said, he challenged Varuna. He said, please give me a fight. Of course, in an insulting way, actually. So then Varuna said, just wait. You will find your opponent who will make you sleep on the battlefield. So he became very excited, happy, and was waiting for his opponent, who's going to be Varahadev. So then we saw how Varahadev appeared. In the 18th chapter, we saw. So he was looking for his opponent, and then he went looking actually. After he heard from Varun Dev, he went looking, searching for Varahadev. And then when Varahadev, he met face to face Varahadev, we saw the fight that happened. At first, it appeared like Varahadev was losing, but and then Brahmaji was telling Varahadev, oh, don't play with him anymore, kill him, because this time is auspicious for you to kill him. If this time passes, he will become more powerful. Of course, this is out of his love. Brahmaji is saying like that. And the Lord also accepted that as Brahmaji's love. Does the Lord need the the advantage of auspicious time. He doesn't need. But this is out of love. Like Yashoda Mai, when she, out of her motherly affection, she feels, oh, I have to protect my child. Her love covered the Aishwaryam, the opulence of the Lord, the greatness of the Lord. She is not able to see that. She sees her son always as a child who needs her protection. This is her love. So similarly, Brahmaji was also thinking like that. So anyway, and then after that, to please Brahmaji, then we saw how, the battle that ensued between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev. Sometimes the Lord's weapon would fall down, and sometimes Hiranyaksha's, and all that. Finally, the Lord took his Sudarshan Chakra and he killed Hiranyaksha. So then, this whole pastime of the appearance of Varahadev and Varahadev's killing of the demon Hiranyaksha. Now we are reading Srila Maitreya Muni is telling us about the Falashruti. Falashruti means what is the benefit of hearing this pastime. So in the previous verses, we saw Sri Suta Goswami is saying. So again, here Maitreya Muni is speaking. So in Naimisharanya, Suta Goswami is speaking to Shaunakadi rishis. And Suta Goswami is quoting Sukadev Goswami, speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Sukadev Goswami is quoting Maitreya Muni, speaking to Vidura. So that's why sometimes we see Suta Goswami speaking, sometimes Maitreya Muni speaking, sometimes Sukadev Goswami speaking, like that. So Maitreya Muni is saying, my dear Vidura, I have explained to you the personality of Godheads coming down as the first boar incarnation and killing in a great fight a demon of unprecedented prowess, as if he were just a plaything. This has been narrated by me as I heard it from my predecessor, spiritual master. That means I have given you exactly as I have heard. I have not changed anything. Now Suta Goswami is telling Shaunakadi rishis, my dear Brahmana, that means Shaunaka, Kshatta Vidura, the great devotee of the Lord, achieved transcendental bliss by hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the authoritative source of the sage Kausharava, means Maitreya. And he was very pleased. So Vidurji was very pleased, he said. So further, Suta Goswami is saying, what to speak of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, whose chest is marked with Srivatsa, people may take transcendental pleasure even in hearing of the works and deeds of the devotees, whose fame is immortal. What to speak of the Lord? Even by hearing about the devotees of the Lord, we are benefited. One becomes, they get transcendental pleasure, not simply by hearing about the Lord, but also by hearing about the devotees of the Lord. One gets transcendental pleasure. Then the personality of God had delivered the king of the elephants who was attacked by an alligator and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from the impending danger. So an example is given to show how the Lord can be approached even by an animal in devotional service. Then, what grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as the personality of Godhead? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to him for protection, though the unrighteous man finds it difficult to propitiate him. So, what is needed? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees. What do you mean by spotless devotees? Who resort exclusively to him for protection. Then the previous verse to today's was, O Brahmanas, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the first boar in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahmana. So if anyone heard this pastime of Varahadev's killing Hiranyaksha, he becomes free from the results of sinful activities which he performed, even the killing of a Brahmana. So Brahmana Hatya is a very, very big sin, but you can be relieved even from that sin. Yani kani cha papani Brahma Hatyadikani cha Brahma Hatya. When you circumambulate Tulsi Maharani, you become relieved from Brahma Hatya. So by hearing this narration of Varahadev's killing Hiranyaksha, you become free, relieved even from Brahma Hatya. What to speak of other sins? Should we consider this an exaggeration? That simply by hearing this, all my sins will be relieved? I'll be relieved from all sins. Should we take it as an exaggeration? Because I still get, I see that I'm still suffering in this world, apparently because I'm getting the reactions of my past sinful activities. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, I have heard this pastime, so I should be free from all sins. So which is true? Becoming free from all sins is true, or my experiencing sinful reactions is true? If we say that this is an exaggeration, it's not exactly the way it is said, that becomes an offense. Sixth offense to the holy name, tadarthavada, arthavada. Arthavada means exaggeration. That means to, what do you say? To promote my product, I speak, certain things about that product which are not true. I exaggerate its glories. In that way, is Bhagavatam exaggerating?
No.
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 It's absolutely true. Then why am I still experiencing the, why am I still suffering in this world? That means I'm getting the reactions of my sins. How do I understand that? So that's one point. And then today's verse is saying that this most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Shaunaka. So what are the benefits that one gets by hearing? Of course, the previous verse said you become free from all sins. And this verse is saying that you get wealth, fame, long life, all your desires will be fulfilled. your senses will be very strong on the battlefield. And if at the time of death you listen to this pastime, then you'll go back to Godhead. Nice. Right? So what is Srila Prabhupada saying in this? Generally, devotees are attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits, such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. What are these? Wealth, long life, fame, etc. We read in Bhagavad Gita that those who are desirous of such material results, wealth, beauty, long life, fame, power, all these things, who do they approach? They approach demigods.
Demigods.
Why do they approach demigods?
We think that they will give right away benefit.
For quick results.
Quick results.
Yes, they approach the demigods because from demigods you can get the results quickly. But if you approach the Supreme Lord, you may or may not get it immediately, quickly. You know why? Because the demigods, they are like merchants. You pay the price and you get the product you want. But with the Supreme Lord, he is like a parent. He'll give you what is good for you. He won't give you whatever you ask. He may or may not give you. But whatever he does is for your ultimate benefit. But those who are impatient, they consider it's better to go to the demigods and get my material results quickly. But there is a difference in the material results which you get from the demigods, either from the demigods or you can say by doing karma. By doing karma. In karma, demigod worship also falls under karma. There is karma, there is jnana, and there is bhakti. Even those who worship Lord Vishnu, considering him as one of the demigods, they are also karmis. They are not called devotees. When one approaches Lord Vishnu to get some material results and see him as one of the other demigods, basically you're approaching the Lord to get some material results. That's all. You have no intention of surrendering your life to the Supreme Lord. You have no intention of serving the Supreme Lord eternally. But you approach him with the intention of asking some material results. And once it's done, the deal is over. Such people, even if they are worshipping Lord Vishnu, they are still called karmis because their interest is only material result. They are not called devotees. For someone to be called a devotee, there are two types. In devotees, there are two categories. One is called a pure devotee, and the other is called a pradhani bhuta. Pradhani bhuta, he's a mixed devotee. However, pradhani bhuta, I don't know how to say it in English, like a karma mishra bhakta. Karma mishra, jnana mishra bhakta. But pradhani bhuta, pradhan means what? Primary.
Right.
Primarily, he is a devotee, but he is not able to do exclusive devotional service yet. He takes the help of either karma or jnana to support his devotion.
Mm.
To maintain my body, I need to do karma. If I simply chant Hare Krishna, is that going to fill my belly? Is that going to pay my bills? If that is his consciousness, even though the goal of his life is to please the Lord, he wants to serve the Lord. However, his faith is still not firm in bhakti. He still feels that I need to do karma to be able to do bhakti. This is a mixed devotee. In other cases, he feels the need to do some yoga so that I'll control my mind. Then, with that controlled mind, I'll be able to chant Hare Krishna properly. That's also not pure devotional service. Because you feel that you need the support of yoga or you need the support of jnana. What is jnana? Jnana means there are three: tat, tvam, and aikya. Tat padartha jnana means, tvam padartha jnana means, I'm not this body, I'm soul. I'm not this body. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. Absolute truth is Brahman. I am that Brahman. This is called jnana. So when someone takes the help of jnana to do bhakti, when you have to take a cold shower in the morning, if you're telling yourself, I'm not this body, I'm not this body, therefore, this, I don't feel cold or hot, that is just the body. You're taking the help of jnana to do bhakti, then that is not pure devotional service. Why I am saying this is there is two types within devotees also who are worshipping the Supreme Lord. One is a pure devotee. What is the consciousness of a pure devotee then? A pure devotee's consciousness is Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam. He has firm faith. What is his firm faith in? Firm faith that only Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My only identity is I'm a servant of the Supreme Lord. And my only duty, my only activity is to serve him. I'm not obliged to do anything. I'm not obliged to my country. I'm not obliged to my family. I'm not obliged to my profession in any way. He does not feel in his heart that dependence on anything save and except Krishna. This is a pure devotee. And for how long? Every second, every moment, 24/7. This is the consciousness of a pure devotee. And this is the
Mataji, can you say it again, pure devotee, please?
pure devotee. So pure devotee's consciousness is the qualification for one to begin pure devotional service is firm faith, dridha shraddha. So when you have firm faith, what is that faith? What is the symptom of firm faith? The symptom of firm faith is full surrender. Full surrender.
Okay.
That means there is no dependence on anything else. You don't identify yourself as belonging to a family or to a country or with your profession or to any particular varna. I'm a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam. You come out of all types of designations. And what is your faith? My faith is only Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Ananya. Anya means others. Ananya means nobody except Krishna. He is my only master, not just my master. He is everyone's master. right? And my identity is I'm a servant of the Supreme Lord. Other than that, do I have any, uh, identity? No. I'm not anyone's wife, mother, daughter, sister, nationality, nothing. My only identity is I'm a servant of Krishna. When someone has this type of faith and surrenders to the Lord, what does the Lord say? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana
Yajana
paryupasate
Paripas.
tesham
Ishar
nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam.
Shambhan.
I take care of such a devotee. You don't have to work to earn your livelihood. He goes behind that devotee, providing for such a devotee. So now the point here is why. So I said there are two types of devotees. There is devotees who are not yet pure devotees. Within that also, within those who are not yet pure devotees, there's two categories. One category is who is aspiring for pure devotional service. The goal of his life is he wants to enter into pure devotional service where he surrenders 100% to the Lord. And there's another category who is also primarily doing devotional service but identifies himself as belonging to,
Aye.
as a Brahmana, as a Kshatriya, Vaishya, and he does those duties very, very, very seriously as it is given in Shastra. And what is his goal? He's worshipping the Lord also. And they are Varnashrama people. He's worshipping the Lord also. But his goal is he's attracted to the opulences of Vaikuntha, like Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti, liberations. He wants to go to Vaikuntha and get the same opulence as Lord Vishnu. He wants to go to Vaikuntha and live on the same planet as Lord Vishnu, same form as the Lord, like this. But there is no desire to serve the Lord as his servant. That is not there. However, he is practicing bhakti, worshipping the Lord throughout his life. But his goal, that is why Anyabhilashita Shunyam, the definition of pure devotional service, Anyabhilashita means not having the nature of desiring anything other than pleasing the Lord. I am not even desiring to go back home, back to Godhead. I am only desiring to please the Lord. This is pure devotional service. Now he can send me wherever he wants. He can send me to hell. He can keep me here, wherever. And he says, eternally you live here in this world, material world. No problem. If that pleases my Lord, that's what I want to do. This is pure devotional service. And having this type of nature, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Not only that, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Avritam means to be covered. Anavritam means not covered. This bhakti that you're doing should not be covered by karma, jnana, yoga, etc. It's not interrupted because a pure devotee's consciousness is continuously, he is engaged in the service of the Lord. So here we are reading in today's verse, the Lord, anyone who reads and Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. All types of Kaitava Dharma is kicked out of Bhagavatam. Cheating type of Dharma is kicked out of Bhagavatam. What is cheating type of Dharma? When you practice Dharma to get Bhukti or Mukti. Bhukti means material result. Getting name, fame, wealth, going to heaven, high birth, beauty, all these things. Bhukti, material results. Or Mukti, liberation from all material sufferings. So, if you are practicing dharma to get these results, then it is called kaitava dharma, cheating. Previously, Vyasdev had given Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other Puranas also. He gave the Vedas, then he gave the Puranas, Mahabharat. And in Puranas, there are 18 Puranas, 6 in the mode of goodness, 6 in passions, 6 in ignorance. That means for people in goodness, for people in passion, and for people in ignorance. 18 Puranas were given. But he was not satisfied. Why? Because he emphasized on, dharma, artha, kama. You do dharma, by dharma you'll get artha. Artha means wealth.
Wealth.
And kama. And when you get wealth, you can nicely enjoy sense gratification. He said that so many times. So people get this impression that we have to practice dharma so that we can get artha, and with
Wealth.
that artha we can enjoy life. And ultimately you get moksha. That's all. Where is bhakti? Some places he mentioned, but not as many times as he emphasized dharma, artha, kama. So therefore now when Narad Muni came, Narad Muni told him to now give Srimad Bhagavatam where there is no cheating religion.
Bhakti.
Kick out all cheating religion. That's why in the very beginning, in the Mangala Charan of Srimad Bhagavatam, first 3 verses, the second verse says, Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So this kaitava dharma is kicked out of Bhagavatam. But again here in Bhagavatam we are reading that if you hear this narration of Lord Varadev's killing of Hiranyaksha, you will get long life, you'll get wealth, you'll get fame, you'll become powerful on the battlefield. Aren't these material results? Then what? Is this a cheating religion? So then people can hear this to get some material result. So here there's a difference between the results that you get from the demigods and the results that you get from the Supreme Lord. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is bhakti, direct devotional service. It's called Sakshat Bhakti, direct devotional service. There are different types of devotional service. I forget if I mentioned it before, but there are many types of bhakti. Not all of them are pure devotional service. However, when you say Sakshat Bhakti means, in simple words, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, and Srila Rupa Goswami gives us 64 limbs. So this is direct devotional service. Direct devotional service, of these 64 limbs, 5 are very important, as Srila Prabhupada said in this purport also. Chanting the Lord's names, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, worshipping the deity, associating with devotees, and living in the holy place of Mathura, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, like that. Living in the place where the Lord performed his pastimes. These are the 5 very powerful, the most powerful limbs of bhakti. That means hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is also direct devotional service. And in this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are hearing this pastime of Lord Varahadev's killing Hiranyaksha. By performing this direct devotional service, you are getting apparently some material results. How do we understand that? This is actually the Lord's mercy. It's the Lord's mercy. those who are materialistic, material minded people will not be interested, right, in coming to the scriptures unless some material benefit is offered to them, isn't it? They'd rather go and make some more money in that time. What do I gain? You may have also met people who ask you, if I chant Hare Krishna, will, will everyone be healthy in my family? And, we'll make some, we'll
Money.
make we get material prosperity, like that they ask. That means people have this idea that the purpose of um, practicing dharma is to get some material benefit. You're supposed to get material benefit. Unless you offer that material benefit, they won't even turn to religious life,
Yeah.
dharma. That was the whole purpose why Vyasdev emphasized dharma. You do dharma, by doing this, you'll get this result and that result. Then they will come. Or, in Mahabharata is filled with, they want some nice, spicy, material, like some stories, where there is suspense and love and things like that, so which will attract them. So Mahabharata is filled with all those things, and they'll come to hear that. But the purpose of Vyasdev was to bring them to bhakti only. Nicely, in the middle of Mahabharata, he kept Bhagavad Gita. That is the essence of Mahabharata. That was his intention. But very easily, people just skip that and they go to what they want. That was Narad Muni's point. You are thinking that you want to give this, but how many people are going there? They just, they will only stick to the stories. They won't go to Bhagavad Gita. So you have to say it again and again. So that is why now you give Srimad Bhagavatam, is said. So what I'm trying to say is, actually the ultimate benefit of every episode of Srimad Bhagavatam is pure unalloyed devotional service. Sometimes it may seem like, this particular verse is not directly talking about pure devotional service. But if you take the whole section, for example, if you take Dhruv Maharaj's story, or here you take, the killing of Hiranyaksha by Lord Varahadev. If you read the whole thing, what is the lesson we are getting? The lesson of every episode is surrendering to the Supreme Lord, performing pure unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. But we see that the Lord is also giving these benefits. What is the difference between the material results given by the Supreme Lord, and the material results given by the demigods? What is the difference? You can see for yourself. Hiranyakashipu got benedictions from the demigods. What was the result of Hiranyakashipu?
Was killed by.
And Dhruva Maharaj got material result from the Supreme Lord. What was his destination?
Yeah.
So, even when you receive material results from the Supreme Lord, they are never inauspicious. When we get material benedictions from the Lord, those are not inauspicious to the devotee. being pleased by a devotee's devotional service, if the Lord gives him material results, like we are seeing here, they will not be inauspicious for him. Whereas, and also, those results are not temporary. They are not temporary. But the results that you get by worshipping the demigods, they are temporary. Of course, there's one thing here that you should remember. It's very tricky. When you have offenses, especially when you commit grave offenses to devotees, Vaishnava Aparadh, if you do, it appears like in spite of committing that offense, you are being honored and you are being given a bigger post or position. And you may think that I am able to get away from my offense. Actually, in that case, your being given that position is to destroy you. Because as a result of that position, now you will commit even more offenses, becoming proud. And by those offenses, you will be kicked away like anything from the association of devotees. Standard example of this is Daksha.
Yeah.
The first time he was offended that Lord Shiva did not stand up for him when he entered the arena. And then he blasphemed Lord Shiva like anything. Vaishnava Aparadh. After that whole thing, of course, there was counter curses going on. So Lord Shiva didn't want any offense to be done to the Supreme Lord. So he just got up and left. And then his followers also left. So therefore, it stopped there. But after committing that offense, Daksha was made the leader. He was made the leader of all Prajapatis. There, our acharyas explain that if he committed an offense to such a great Vaishnava, he should have been punished. Instead, he's given a higher post. What is this? That getting a higher post is actually a punishment.
That's true.
So we have to be careful. Of course, when we get benedictions from the Lord, they are all auspicious. But we should be careful not to commit offenses, especially committing all 10 offenses. But of those 10 offenses, 1 and 7 are considered very, very severe. First offense is blaspheming the Vaishnavas. And seventh offense is committing sinful activities on the strength of bhakti. Because I am doing bhakti, even if I do sinful activities, bhakti will take care of that. Very, very severe, these two offenses. So here the point is, finally, one who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord. Yes. Who will be able to listen to this at the last moment of his life? Only one very crucial point here is your offenses. There are many statements in Shastra that say that you chant one name. In Ajamil's episode, we will see. Once you chant the name of the Lord, and all your sins, past, present, future, all sins are removed. Now, should we consider this an exaggeration? I've been chanting for so many years. So all my sins are removed. Past, present, future sins are all removed. There is one condition there. Provided one holy name will free you from all sins, past, present, and future, provided you don't have any offenses. But if you have offenses, One name is not sufficient.
Enough.
You have to keep chanting again and again and again and again and again. And also, it's not a mechanical thing. Like, I chant so many number of rounds, then so many offenses would have been removed. No, because bhakti is a conscious personality. She is a queen, Bhakti Maharani. When she is pleased by your endeavors, by your bhakti, when she is pleased, then she will destroy your offenses. And when your offenses are destroyed, then your sins are removed. When the offenses are destroyed, then sins are removed. And it's not that first all the offenses are removed, then all the sins. Not like that. It's really up to her. So from our side, all we can do is be very sincere, be very, very sincere. We cannot cheat. So even this pastime, sometimes people will think that, oh, I will just read this pastime at the time of death and I'm just going back. The person, we got this intelligence. Imagine how much more intelligent the Lord
He
will
must have
be.
had.
This intelligence that we have is, after all, of those 24 elements, material elements, by the way. Of the 24 material elements, one of them is this intelligence. And that intelligence was distributed to unlimited universes. And in one universe, there are so many living entities, and one small portion is given to me. With that intelligence, I'm thinking that, oh, I will hear this and then I will go back. But the thing is, yes, you will go back, provided you have no offenses. Bhakti is a conscious personality. Depending on our sincerity, she will deal with us. So if the time is over, I won't go over time. But for further details about how the offenses act, you should refer to 6th canto. 6th canto, 2nd chapter, texts 9 and 10, commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and also at the end of that chapter, Srila Prabhupada gave additional information. So in that also you'll find that. So I will stop here today. Let me see if I covered everything. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord at the end of this life. So you cannot just say that at the end of my life I will hear. You have to surrender. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is also bhakti. So one who completely takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam and he is hearing continuously, then yes, at the end of this life, you will hear and you'll be transferred to the eternal abode. So Prabhupada is saying hearers are benefited both ultimately by getting Krishna Prema, and also as long as they are in the material world, because the Lord is giving us benedictions so that we can practice devotional service without too many disturbances, just as many as we need so that we will do our bhakti.